Welcome to my channel Pocket Change Coins, because, as you know, old is gold. Some of the rarest coins worth big money could be hiding in your hands right now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch till the end. Let's dive in. First, we take a deep dive into this fascinating coin that has become an unexpected star among collectors of modern American currency. The early 1990s marked a period of growth and transition in the United States. The economy was expanding, technology was rapidly evolving, and people were beginning to enter a new digital age. Yet, even during these exciting developments, the United States Mint in Philadelphia continued to produce traditional Washington quarters that carried on decades of American history. The 1994 P quarter, though modern in appearance, reflects an era when everyday coins were still crafted with precision and care. Collectors appreciate this quarter for several reasons, but one of the most important is its connection to the long-running Washington quarter design. First introduced in 1932 to honor George Washington's 200th birthday, the portrait became one of the most recognized images on American currency. By 1994, the design had already been in circulation for more than 60 years, making each coin a living piece of the nation's numismatic tradition. On the obverse of the coin, George Washington's dignified profile stands boldly. The details of his hair, tied in a colonial-style ribbon, and the sculpted lines of his jaw give the portrait a timeless elegance. A well-preserved 1994 P quarter showcases these features with impressive clarity, and collectors treasure examples that maintain their original mint luster. The reverse of the coin features the powerful image of an eagle perched with wings spread, symbolizing strength, freedom, and resilience. Every feather, every curve, and every line plays a role in making this design iconic. But on circulated quarters, these fine details fade quickly. This is why collectors value pristine examples so highly. They capture the artistry exactly as it was intended. Although the Philadelphia Mint produced millions of quarters in 1994, only a tiny fraction survived without scratches, wear, or contact marks. Quarters experience some of the harshest circulation of all U.S. coins because they're constantly used in vending machines, parking meters, toll booths, and everyday transactions. This heavy usage makes high-grade examples extremely rare. The composition of the modern quarter also makes it susceptible to dulling and surface damage. These coins were designed for durability, not for long-term preservation, and that makes the discovery of a clean, untouched 1994 P quarter even more special. Collectors know that surviving flawless pieces are the true gems of modern coinage. Some 1994 P quarters also show minor minting anomalies or subtle die variations that spark interest among era coin collectors. Small differences in strike quality, die wear, and metal flow lines can make certain coins stand out. While these variations may be minor, they add uniqueness and spark excitement among those who love the thrill of discovering something unusual. One of the most exciting aspects of collecting modern quarters is the unpredictability of where rare pieces might be found. Stories continue to surface of individuals who discovered high-grade coins hidden in forgotten jars, inherited collections, or rolls of coins obtained from the bank. Each discovery fuels the fascination surrounding the 1994 P quarter. New collectors are often surprised to learn that modern coins can hold significant value. Many assume that only old silver coins or special mint issues can become valuable, but condition rarity tells a different story. A perfectly preserved recent coin can sometimes be worth far more than an older piece in average condition. For seasoned collectors, the 1994 P quarter represents the importance of attention to detail. Every mark, scratch, or tiny imperfection affects a coin's grade. Finding one with flawless surfaces, sharp features, and glowing luster becomes a true challenge, and challenges are what collectors thrive on. As time passes, the number of untouched 1994 P quarters continues to shrink. Many were spent, exposed to wear, or simply lost to time. Each year, fewer high-grade examples remain, increasing the desirability of those still in pristine condition. This slow decline fuels demand and elevates the coin's status in the collecting community. The significance of this quarter also lies in its place at the end of an era. In just a few years, the traditional eagle reverse would disappear, replaced by the beloved 50-state quarters program. That makes the 1994 P quarter one of the later issues of the classic Washington Eagle design, adding sentimental value for collectors who appreciate historical continuity. Collectors often view this coin as a bridge between eras, an artifact from the final days before the monumental shift in quarter design. Owning a high-quality example feels like holding a piece of the pre-millennium America, a reminder of a time before dramatic change reshaped the nation's coinage. The growing interest in high-grade modern quarters has driven impressive prices at auctions and in private sales. Enthusiasts who understand the rarity of top-condition coins from the 1990s know just how challenging it is to find a flawless example, and this competition has elevated the 1994 P quarter into an exciting spotlight. As the hobby expands and more people begin searching through their coins, awareness of these hidden treasures grows. Every time a collector posts a discovery online or shares a valuable find, it inspires others to check their own coins closely. This new generation of collectors adds energy and enthusiasm to the world of numismatics. The legacy of the 1994 P Washington quarter continues to strengthen as collectors recognize its importance and scarcity. What began as a common coin has evolved into a modern collectible that commands respect and admiration. Its blend of history, beauty, and unexpected rarity makes it a perfect example of why coin collecting remains such an exciting hobby. And now we come to the moment viewers always wait for, the part of the story that reveals just how valuable a flawless example can be. In the highest state of preservation, a top-grade 1994 Philadelphia Washington quarter dollar has reached an astonishing value of $25,000. Second rare coin, the 1965 Washington quarter dollar stands as one of the most fascinating coins in modern American history, and not just because of its age. This particular year represents a dramatic turning point in U.S. coinage, a moment when the nation shifted from using silver in its circulating coins to using a completely new metal composition. Because of this transition, the 1965 quarter holds a unique place in the hearts of collectors, becoming one of the most talked about coins of the 20th century. Before 1965, Washington quarters were made of 90% silver, giving them both intrinsic metal value and exceptional beauty. But due to a severe national coin shortage, rising silver prices, and increasing mint demand, the U.S. government decided to remove silver from circulating dimes and quarters. This change reshaped the monetary system, and the first year of this transformation was 1965. That alone gives this coin historical weight unmatched by many others. While millions of quarters were minted that year, few people realized at the time how important the change truly was. Everyday Americans went about their routines, spending quarters at diners, laundromats, soda machines, and parking meters, unaware that the coins in their pockets symbolized the end of a silver era and the beginning of a completely new chapter in U.S. currency. Because the 1965 quarter was the first to be struck in the new clad composition, collectors today are especially interested in coins that survived in the highest levels of preservation. The new copper-nickel layers were durable, but they could lose their shine quickly once the coins entered circulation. That means pristine examples are far rarer than the large mintage would suggest. On the obverse of the coin, George Washington's iconic portrait remains a timeless tribute to America's first president. When viewed on a well-preserved 1965 quarter, the smooth features of Washington's profile stand out with strong definition. His hair, tied back in the traditional colonial style, displays elegant curves that collectors appreciate when the coin is in mint-state condition. Turning the coin over reveals the majestic eagle on the reverse. With its wings extended and talons gripping arrows, the image symbolizes courage and national freedom. A fully detailed eagle, with sharp feathers and clean lines, is a sign of an exceptionally well-struck coin. Finding a 1965 quarter that retains this sharpness after nearly 60 years is a true challenge point. One of the reasons this coin has become so interesting is the mixture of confusion and curiosity that surrounded its release. During the transition from silver to clad, the mint had to meet enormous public demand. In the process, some coins struck in 1965 were actually dated 1964, and others dated 1965 were made using older equipment. This chaotic period at the mint created lasting intrigue among collectors. Collectors continued to examine 1965 quarters carefully, hoping to identify slight variations, unusual striking characteristics, or other unexpected features that make one coin stand out from another. Even tiny differences, almost invisible to the casual eye, can add depth and excitement to the hunt for the perfect specimen. One of the biggest sources of excitement surrounding the 1965 quarter comes from the rare rumors and discoveries involving transitional errors. These kinds of minting mistakes, where a coin is struck using the wrong metal or wrong dies, have made certain examples from the 1960s extremely valuable. While such errors are incredibly scarce, they fuel a sense of mystery that keeps collectors searching. The thrill of discovering a rare 1965 quarter often comes from the most unexpected places. People tell stories of finding old coins in family collections, buried in jars, tucked inside boxes, or stuck in the corners of drawers that haven't been opened in decades. A dusty container of forgotten change can suddenly become a treasure chest for a lucky individual. New collectors love the 1965 quarter because its unique history makes it easy to appreciate. It is a coin that represents change, literally and figuratively. Understanding why it is important helps beginners learn the basics of numismatics, while the possibility of finding a rare example sparks excitement and curiosity. Experienced collectors value the 1965 quarter for deeper reasons. It is one of the rare coins from the late 20th century where history, rarity potential, and design beauty intersect. They know that high-grade examples are exceptionally hard to find, despite the massive number made. This contrast between quantity and quality gives the coin its special appeal. Over decades of circulation, most 1965 quarters picked up scratches, dings, and wear that stripped away much of their original luster. That's why a mint-state example can feel like a time machine, transporting collectors back to the moment the coin was struck. Its shine and clarity reveal details that ordinary circulated coins simply no longer have. As collectors increasingly focus on high-grade clad coins, the 1965 Washington quarter continues rising in popularity. It stands at the intersection of history and modern numismatic interest. The value of top-quality clad coins has grown significantly, and the 1965 quarter has become one of the most important pieces from the era. Every remarkable coin has a story, and the story of the 1965 quarter is about transition, innovation, and survival. It symbolizes a moment when America redefined its currency, and owning one in exceptional condition feels like holding a piece of that transformation in your hands. This emotional connection is part of what makes rare examples so sought after. The excitement surrounding this coin also reflects a broader realization. Even coins made from everyday materials can become valuable when they are preserved perfectly. A high-grade example from 1965 represents decades of luck, protection, and timing, all working together to keep the coin as flawless as the day it was minted. As the years go by, the number of pristine 1965 quarters becomes smaller and smaller. Many have been lost to time, damaged, or melted in industrial processes. Each remaining gem gains more importance and becomes more desirable to serious collectors who recognize its significance. With all of this in mind, it's no surprise that the best examples of the 1965 Washington quarter have achieved remarkable prices at auctions. Their beauty, rarity, and historical significance all combine to create truly valuable collectibles. And with interest continuing to grow, these coins are becoming even more exciting to collectors everywhere. And now we arrive at the moment everyone looks forward to, the value reveal of the finest examples known. In the highest state of preservation, a top-grade 1965 Washington quarter dollar has achieved an extraordinary value of $150,000. Third expensive coin, the 1980 Philadelphia Washington quarter dollar is one of those coins that most people have held thousands of times without ever giving a second thought. It jingles quietly in pockets, slips through vending machines, and vanishes into cash drawers every day. Yet hidden among the countless quarters minted that year are incredibly rare treasures that collectors are now hunting with intense excitement. This is a coin that proves ordinary-looking change can hold extraordinary surprises. The year 1980 marked an interesting period in American history. The country was experiencing economic challenges, inflation was becoming a major concern, and the world was shifting toward a new era of technology. Even during these transitions, the United States Mint continued producing the iconic Washington quarter with the same classic design introduced nearly half a century earlier. The 1980p quarter became part of a busy, rapidly moving economy, which makes the few pristine survivors even more remarkable. These quarters were produced in huge quantities, especially at the Philadelphia Mint, which had no mint mark on its coins during that time. With so many created, most people assume every 1980 quarter is common and nearly worthless. But what makes this coin special is not how many were minted, it's how few remain in perfect, untouched condition today. The intense circulation of the 1980s took a toll on nearly every coin from that era. The obverse of the coin features the familiar portrait of George Washington, a design admired for its simplicity and strength. When the 1980 quarter is found in flawless condition, every detail of Washington's hair, coat, and sharp profile stands out brilliantly. The clarity and sharpness of these features are what draw collectors to search for exceptional examples. The reverse showcases the majestic eagle, its wings stretched confidently, perched above arrows symbolizing readiness and national determination. On a perfectly struck 1980p quarter, the feathers, talons, and lettering appear crisp and full of life. But such beauty is almost always lost once the coin enters circulation, which is why uncirculated examples are prized. Modern quarters like those from 1980 face tough conditions. They tumble in coin-counting machines, scrape through parking meters, and slide across metal surfaces thousands of times. This constant friction wears away the mint luster that collectors value so highly. That's why locating one with a clean, glossy surface is considered a rare achievement. Collectors love this quarter because it challenges assumptions. Most assume older coins are more valuable, but the 1980p quarter proves that condition can outweigh age. A perfectly preserved example can be worth far more than a century-old coin that shows heavy wear. This surprising truth keeps collectors searching their change with renewed enthusiasm. Stories of rare finds continue to inspire the numismatic world. Some of the best 1980 quarters ever discovered came from forgotten coin jars stored in garages, sealed bank rolls untouched since the early 1980s, and inherited collections that no one realized held hidden gems. Discoveries like these fuel the excitement surrounding this coin. For new collectors entering the hobby, the 1980p quarter is a wonderful introduction to the importance of grading. It teaches beginners to look beyond a coin's date and ask deeper questions. How sharp is the strike? How clean is the surface? How bright is the luster? These details make all the difference. Experienced collectors appreciate the 1980 quarter for the subtle challenges it presents. Even coins that look beautiful to the naked eye can reveal tiny marks under magnification. That's why the few that reach the highest grading levels feel so special. They're the rare survivors that made it through decades without the usual scratches and scuffs. Some 1980 quarters also show interesting minting characteristics like slightly weak strikes or faint die fatigue, which occurred during heavy production years. While not always classified as major errors, these traits can make certain coins stand out to collectors who enjoy the hunt for something just a little different. Over time, many 1980 quarters have simply vanished. Some were lost, some damaged, and others melted down in industrial settings. This natural thinning of supply means that high-grade examples grow more valuable each year, as fewer pristine pieces remain available for collectors. This quarter also represents the final decades of the classic eagle reverse design. Just 19 years later, the state quarters program would completely transform the look of America's circulating quarters. The 1980p coin belongs to the generation before that transformation, making it more historically meaningful. Collectors find joy in discovering coins from transitional eras, periods before major design changes. The 1980p quarter captures an America on the edge of cultural and technological shifts, yet still anchored to its familiar traditions. Holding one in perfect condition feels like holding onto a piece of that moment in time. As more collectors share their finds online, interest in high-grade modern coins continues to rise. Auction results have drawn attention to the surprising value that certain years can command, and the 1980p quarter has quietly gained popularity among both beginners and experts. This rising interest helps preserve the legacy of the Washington quarter, reminding the world that even everyday coins possess artistry and history. The 1980p quarter, with its bold portrait and symbolic eagle, remains one of the most iconic pieces of circulating American currency. Searchers across the country continue to check their spare change, hoping to come across a quarter that defies the odds. It's the thrill of possibility that makes the hobby so exciting. Each handful of coins could contain something extraordinary, a hidden treasure disguised as a common piece of money. And now, after exploring the history, symbolism, rarity, and excitement surrounding this remarkable coin, we reach the part everyone waits for, the moment when the true value of a top-quality example is revealed. In its highest and most flawless condition, a 1980 Philadelphia Washington quarter dollar has reached an astonishing value of $92,000. Especially, the 1985 Philadelphia Washington quarter dollar is one of those coins that most people handle every day without realizing its potential significance. To the casual observer, it may seem ordinary, just another piece of change. Yet for collectors, this coin holds a special allure, particularly when found in flawless, uncirculated condition. Its story combines history, artistry, and the thrill of rarity. The mid-1980s in the United States was a period of transformation. The economy was evolving, technology was beginning to accelerate, and American culture was experiencing new waves of music, fashion, and entertainment. Amidst this dynamic backdrop, the United States Mint continued to produce the classic Washington quarter, maintaining a design that had become a symbol of stability and tradition. Although millions of 1985p quarters were minted at the Philadelphia Mint, most entered circulation immediately and were subjected to years of wear. From laundry machines to parking meters, these quarters were handled countless times, reducing the number of coins that retained their original mint luster. This makes pristine examples extraordinarily rare today. The obverse of the coin features the familiar portrait of George Washington, a design that has endured for decades. In a high-quality, uncirculated 1985p quarter, Washington's profile is crisp and sharply defined. The fine lines of his hair, the contours of his face, and the details of his coat remain pristine, reflecting the craftsmanship of the mint. The reverse of the coin presents the iconic eagle with outstretched wings, clutching arrows. Each feather, claw, and element of the design is rendered with remarkable precision. On well-preserved examples, the details of the eagle's plumage and the lettering are clear and sharp, distinguishing a collectible coin from one that has been heavily circulated. Collectors are particularly drawn to the 1985p quarter because it represents a snapshot of modern American history. Although it is not old by traditional numismatic standards, the coin captures a moment in time when everyday currency was produced with care and precision, and when only a small fraction would survive unblemished decades later. The durability of the copper-nickel composition helped the coin endure years of handling, but even this alloy cannot prevent all wear. Minor scratches, contact marks, and environmental exposure are common on circulated examples. The few coins that have escaped this damage are treasured by collectors worldwide. Some collectors also seek out subtle minting anomalies from the 1985 Philadelphia Mint production. Minor variations in die pressure, striking alignment, or surface finish can make a coin more interesting and desirable. Even small deviations become valuable talking points for those deeply immersed in numismatics. The search for high-grade 1985p quarters often involves sifting through old collections, rolls of coins from banks, or inherited stashes that have been forgotten for decades. These discoveries are thrilling because they often reveal coins in a condition that seems almost impossible given the large number of quarters minted. New collectors are frequently surprised to learn that a coin from the 1980s can carry significant value. The 1985p quarter demonstrates that rarity and worth are not only about age but also about condition, preservation, and scarcity. A well-preserved coin can command attention and impressive prices in today's collector market. Seasoned collectors know that the hunt for a mint-state 1985p quarter is challenging yet rewarding. Even coins that look good to the naked eye often have small imperfections under magnification. This makes finding a flawless example a true achievement in the hobby of numismatics. The story of the 1985p quarter is also one of everyday life and history intersecting. These coins circulated during a period of cultural growth and change in America, touching countless hands, yet only a few managed to escape wear. That survival story adds a layer of mystique and desirability to the coin. Collectors also value this quarter because it is part of the long-running Washington series, a design that has represented stability and heritage for decades. The familiarity of the portrait and reverse design connects collectors to a broader historical narrative, while providing a tangible piece of modern American history. High-grade 1985 P quarters are particularly prized because they represent what the coin looked like the moment it left the mint. Their surfaces retain original luster, edges are sharp, and all design elements remain fully detailed. This level of preservation is exceedingly rare given the coin's age and circulation. Even decades after its release, the demand for flawless examples continues to rise. Collectors appreciate the combination of condition, history, and visual appeal. These coins not only hold monetary value but also carry the story of survival and preservation across nearly 40 years. The thrill of collecting modern quarters like the 1985 P is heightened by the unpredictability of discovery. A single jar of coins, long untouched, can contain a mint-state specimen that turns an ordinary collection into a prized set. That sense of possibility keeps collectors engaged and excited. The coin's appeal is further amplified by its sharp detail and clean surfaces, which allow every element of Washington's portrait and the eagle to be fully appreciated. Numismatists delight in examining these features, as they offer a clear window into the craftsmanship and precision of the United States Mint. As time goes on, fewer pristine 1985 P quarters remain. The natural effects of circulation, environmental exposure, and human handling slowly reduce the number of surviving mint-state examples. This gradual scarcity elevates the coin's value and desirability in the collector market. Collectors who own a high-grade 1985 P quarter often describe it as a combination of history, beauty, and rarity. It is a tangible reminder of the 1980s, a preserved fragment of American culture, and a coin that has survived decades in near-perfect condition. The emotional and monetary appeal makes it one of the standout quarters of the era. And now, after exploring the history, design, rarity, and collector excitement surrounding this coin, we reach the moment everyone has been waiting for. A 1985 Philadelphia Washington quarter dollar, preserved in flawless condition, can reach an extraordinary value of $67,000. Last unique coin, the 1966 Washington quarter dollar may seem like just another coin at first glance, yet for collectors, it holds a remarkable place in numismatic history. This coin marks a transitional period in U.S. coinage, representing the first years when quarters were struck without any silver content. While everyday Americans carried them without a second thought, collectors today understand the rarity and value of high-quality examples. In the mid-1960s, the United States faced a growing coin shortage. Rising silver prices and an increasing demand for currency led the U.S. Mint to make a dramatic change. Starting in 1965, dimes and quarters were produced in a new copper-nickel-clad composition, replacing the traditional 90% silver content. The 1966 Washington quarter was part of this historic shift, a coin that carried decades of tradition into a modern era. The Denver and Philadelphia mints produced millions of 1966 quarters, yet most entered circulation immediately. Everyday handling, combined with vending machines, parking meters, and countless transactions, caused significant wear. As a result, coins that have survived in pristine, mint-state condition are extremely rare and highly sought after by collectors. The obverse of the coin features the iconic portrait of George Washington, a design that had already been in circulation for more than 3 decades. On a perfectly preserved 1966 quarter, the details of Washington's hair, the curves of his ribbon, and the contours of his profile remain sharp and vivid. Collectors prize coins that maintain these original features because they reflect the artistry of the minting process. Turning the coin over, the reverse presents the classic eagle perched atop arrows with outstretched wings. Every feather, claw, and detail of the eagle's plumage is carefully rendered in mint-state examples. In circulated coins, these details often fade quickly, making the few surviving high-grade 1966 quarters extraordinary. Although this coin is a modern issue, its historical significance is immense. The 1966 quarter represents the United States' transition from silver to clad coinage, a monumental change that affected collectors and everyday Americans alike. Owning one in exceptional condition is like holding a piece of a pivotal moment in numismatic history. Collectors are often fascinated by the sharp contrasts between circulated and uncirculated 1966 quarters. While the coin was widely available at the time, everyday use led to scratches, nicks, and dulling of the original surfaces. The few coins that escape these common issues are treasures that reflect the coin exactly as it appeared when it left the mint. The 1966 quarter also offers a lesson in modern coin collecting. While older silver coins often dominate the market, this coin proves that rarity is not only about age. Preservation and condition play a critical role, and even coins from the 1960s can achieve astonishing values when they remain flawless. Minting anomalies and subtle variations also intrigue collectors. Slight die errors, differences in strike depth, and minor surface irregularities can make individual coins stand out. These variations are rare, adding uniqueness and desirability to certain 1966 quarters that may otherwise appear ordinary. Discovering a high-grade 1966 quarter is a thrilling experience. Many of the most remarkable examples have been found in forgotten coin jars, rolls tucked away in drawers for decades, or inherited collections. The excitement of unearthing a coin that has survived in perfect condition is part of what makes numismatics so captivating. For new collectors, the 1966 quarter serves as a fascinating introduction to the importance of grading. Coins that appear similar at first glance can vary dramatically in value depending on their condition. This quarter teaches beginners to look beyond the date and examine details such as luster, sharpness, and surface quality. Experienced collectors appreciate the 1966 quarter for its subtle challenges. Even coins that seem flawless can reveal tiny imperfections under magnification. Finding a mint-state example requires patience, attention to detail, and sometimes a bit of luck, which makes each discovery deeply rewarding. The coin's copper-nickel composition contributed to its durability but also made it susceptible to scratches and discoloration over time. This makes the survival of flawless examples even more impressive. High-grade 1966 quarters are nearly time capsules, preserving the coin's original beauty decades after production. Collectors also value the 1966 quarter because it represents continuity in design. The Washington portrait and eagle reverse had been familiar to the American public for decades. Holding one in mint condition is like holding a piece of American tradition, preserved perfectly for future generations. Over time, circulation, environmental exposure, and mishandling have eliminated many potential mint-state coins from the market. This natural attrition makes the remaining high-grade 1966 quarters increasingly valuable as each year passes. Auction results and private sales have demonstrated that the 1966 Washington quarter in flawless condition commands remarkable prices. Its combination of historical significance, condition rarity, and collector interest elevates it to the status of one of the most prized modern quarters. Collectors are drawn to the coin not only for its monetary value but also for its story. It reflects a period of change, a transition from silver to modern clad coinage, and the survival of a piece of history through decades of circulation. The thrill of the hunt for a mint-state 1966 quarter continues to inspire collectors today. Whether searching through old bank rolls, inherited collections, or forgotten jars of coins, enthusiasts are always hoping to uncover a perfect specimen that survived the passage of time. High-grade 1966 quarters also offer a lesson in patience and preservation. The coins that remain today are a testament to careful handling, luck, and timing. Collectors recognize that acquiring such a coin is both a challenge and a privilege. As interest in numismatics grows, the 1966 Washington quarter continues to capture attention. Its combination of history, artistry, and scarcity ensures that it remains a highlight for collectors of modern American coins. After exploring the history, design, rarity, and collector appeal of this extraordinary coin, we arrive at the moment everyone has been waiting for. A 1966 Washington quarter dollar, preserved in flawless mint-state condition, can reach an incredible value of $220,000.